Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. So good to be back on again. It's been a few weeks. We'll talk a bit about what we have been doing while being away and why we've been away. And it is really good to see all you regulars here. It's fantastic. So I hope everyone's well and has had a couple of really good weeks, and hopefully, in between the rainstorms, gotten out and gone for a shoot. So before we start, please hit that subscribe button if you are new here. I'd really appreciate it. And give this video a thumbs up and lay a comment down below and lay a comment in the live stream because tonight we'll be reading out and talking about or anything you guys want to talk about. So it's a pretty relaxed show tonight. So I will bring Jason in right now. Good evening, Jason.
What's
Welcome back.
happening, everybody? Yeah, it's been, 4 weeks? I can't believe
Yeah.
it's been 100 episodes of people listening to us idiots waffle about whatever it is we waffle about.
Yeah, it's all in a couple of years we've managed to do that.
Yeah, that's
The
right.
bulk of it over the old Wu flu season, which they're trying to bring back again.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, it's been all right. You've been working. Everyone's been out. Mate, it has not stopped raining in Sydney. I feel like it's been raining for probably about 6 months now. I think it pretty much has been raining for 6 months. But, God, at this point, I would just love a 2-year drought. I really would, man. Like, I know the farmers don't want the drought. Just a Sydney drought. That's all. Just a Sydney basin drought, and I'll be happy with that.
yes, it's been a bit up and down here. I've been away on the Sunshine Coast for a while, actually staying up there working. So, staying on the beachfront there. You can probably see on some of my Instagram posts, on my other page as well, what I've been doing there. So, it has been a lot of fun doing an absolute mansion up there. Building one. So it's been fantastic. So yeah, that's been really good. And I managed to catch up with our friends from Southern Star Reviews, the
Yeah,
YouTube
Steve,
channel.
yeah.
Yeah, Steve and Shane.
Shane. Yeah, Shane,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Steve and Shane. We were caught up with them, had a few beers while I was up at Sunshine Coast. It was really good. Nice guys. So yeah, we're all going to try and organise a bit of a hunting trip with them at some stage and make some videos doing that.
Yeah, sounds good. Some people talking about the Phil Walter about the price hikes in licenses in WA. Yeah, man. I don't know what on earth's happening over there, man. Just sorry, man. I could never support WA. I mean, I'd never go there, I don't think. I mean, I probably would, but maybe one day if I had a reason to. But yeah, you guys are getting absolutely screwed over there on licensing and stuff. Like crazy prices on things they've got to pay for and license fees and other types of fees. And it's just absolutely astronomical, man. Like I would get out of there, but I know that's not possible for a lot of people based on family, friends, working arrangements and those sort of things. But all I can say is I'm glad I wasn't born. I'm not in a good state anyway in New South Wales, but shit, anything's better than WA at this point.
Yeah, yeah. So I actually haven't been on Facebook hardly in the last 4 weeks. I've been so busy with work. I've worked every day for 3 weeks now. I'm working this weekend again. So what has happened? Fill us all in.
Well, just there's been a massive increase in licensing prices. I mean, I don't know exactly what the increases were. I saw them on Facebook about a week ago. I don't remember exact pricing, but it's already like something like 20 times more than like other licenses or similar, 15 to 20 times other licenses. I mean, normally in New South Wales, I know New South Wales, we get a 5-year license. And last time I checked, it was $200 for 5 years. You know what I mean? So you're looking at what? $40 a year for 5 years, which is pretty darn good. I mean, if someone knows in the comment, again, let me know what that fee is for WA shooters. As far as I'm aware, they can only do a 1-year license, if I'm correct.
Yes, I think.
I think it's about is it about $300? I think. Let me know. I'm sure I read 290, 300, somewhere around there. But man, imagine that. So basically over 5 years, you're looking at 50, if that's the price. I say 300. I mean, let's go moderately 250. I mean, that's that's like $1,250 for 5 years, man. I mean, that's just totally insane.
Here we go, Phil. Well, thank you very much.
$250.
Yeah, thank you very much. Also, Lockie for the super chat. I really do.
Yeah, $235 for a PTA.
Yeah, I thought I was getting pineapple with $42.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
we are $30 in New South Wales. I think what's Victoria, guys? What's the PTA? Last time my mate did it was like $12 or something, $14,
Jeez.
$10. I can't remember exactly what it was, but mate, much $235 for a PTA and
That's
$250
bullshit.
a year for a license. That's $1,250 for a 5-year membership, basically, and any subsequent buying of a purchase of a gun, add $235 onto the purchase of that gun. So that's just
And
insane, man.
and don't you have to get every year? There's something to do with your gun. Re-register your guns every year or something along those lines. A safety
I
certificate,
don't
or
know.
yeah, it's endless over there.
Yeah, so someone said basically if you get one gun per year, it's basically a $500 a year license fee, which is
Yeah,
damn insane. SA is $100 per annum, which is still expensive. That's
yeah.
$500, for a 5-year membership.
Tw-
$22 in Taz. What's that? Is that Andrew? Is that
that'd be
PTAs
PTA.
or? Yeah.
Sure, that'd be PTA. Um,
What's he just brought up a really good point. Matt Rumsey said, how long before other states follow? See, this is definitely a way to put the squeeze on shooters to get just to really start upping the fees and really pricing people out of the market. It's a really
well,
ingenious move, man, to be brutally honest. I mean, how can you charge $250 a year for a firearms license? I mean,
well,
ridiculous. No different than a car license.
there's no. That is just purely don't want you shooting. That is it. There's no question about it. They're not even saying, obviously, for public safety and all that, the garbage they vomit out over here. It's just pure. We want you to stop shooting. We don't want guns. End of story. We're going to price
Mm.
you out of the market.
Yeah. Dat Dank Blow says squeeze as much as they can at a gun owners with it's getting nothing in return. Yeah, absolutely. Highway robbery says Captain Caveman. Agreed. A
Yeah.
Vegas AB, I'm not sure where Vegas is from. Maybe he's from Las Vegas. A PTA is a permit to acquire. So just because you get a gun license doesn't mean you can go into a gun shop and buy a gun. Makes total sense to go in and buy a gun if you had a license, but then you need to get a permit to acquire. So which means basically you put in another piece of bureaucracy paperwork, which costs money for them to tell you, you tick the box of which category gun, bolt action, whichever type of gun you want that's legal for your category. You then send it in with the money, and then they process it and tell you to go and buy the gun. I don't know why this is not automatic. This should be, but listen, this is a tough one. Why don't they give it to dealers, right? When you go into the shop, they just do the permit all in one go. So you want a gun, you go, and you can walk out with it that day, but they do the permit there. But I mean, I guess if they did that, then that would defeat the purpose of the whole thing because it would just show that's just a waste of time and money putting in a permit. You should just be able to go in there and register it and leave with it.
Yeah, exactly. And over this side of the country, it's just all about money, grabbing the money. If you want to shoot, you just got to grab. It's just a money grab. Everyone knows that. They vomit out for public safety. It's for public safety. Well, it's not for public safety, for God's sake. How can getting a permit is for public safety and registering your gun for public safety? Jesus, it's not for public safety registering the gun because how many times has the registry been leaked or stolen or put online or found in the hands of criminals like a shopping list? It's just ridiculous. So yeah, nothing to do. And here's something that will get Jason fired up because this is a sore point with him. Firearms are a privilege, so I guess the mega wealthy can get them. So yeah, no, it's definitely a
Well,
right, not
no,
a
I don't think
privilege.
it's a privilege. No, man, I just don't believe that. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, we don't have a constitutional right. But what we do have is a legal right. So they can't reject you for a license if you don't have a history. So they've been forced on many tribunal cases to give a gun license out to someone that didn't have a criminal record. Even as much so many years ago, they didn't like some bikies and they didn't want to give them a license. And they took it to the tribunal and they subsequently won because they didn't have a criminal record. And the legislation is quite clear on this particular issue. So it's very difficult. So they did win those cases. There's been many cases won. So yeah.
And it's your right to go and apply for a license, and it's your right to. And once you've paid your money, it's your right for them to give them. It's a right for them to give it to you. So
Because
you're
what's
not.
stopping them from then saying, well, you can't have You can't have this. You can't buy that house. You can't live in this area. I mean, where does it end? So it's just, again, there's basic framework in place. If you don't have a criminal record, you're able to get a gun license, regardless of what they think or what they think they want. It's what the law says at the end of the day. So Phil Walter, one thing, said $9.20 for a permit in Victoria. Wow, that's and $45 for a transfer in Geelong, mate. They're great prices, absolutely. Yeah, even for the transfer, it's a great price for a transfer.
Yeah, salty here. Gun shops do the PTAs of Victoria. They want the sale. Yeah, a lot of gun shops up here in Queensland will do your permit there as well because if they do the permit for you and fill all the forms out for you, that means they put their gun shop down for that caliber and that gun, so they've locked you in.
I mean, if it's quicker, I see that makes sense. But I mean, if it's not quicker, I'd rather just go online. And in New South Wales, we can register online for the permits now through Service New South Wales, and then just get it done automatically online, pay the fee online, sign in, and it's all done deal.
Yep, exactly. Firearms are a tool. Exactly, they are. Yeah, they're basically a tool for all of us because we all pretty much go hunting. So, yeah.
PMG said, end of the day, they don't want firearms in the hands of civilians. Yeah, they'll try anything to make it a lot harder. But unfortunately, like we saw during the election, the retards out there are still, still voting Labor and Liberal, even after all the shit that happened the last 2 years. The average Australian, honestly, hasn't got two brain cells to rub together, to be brutally honest. So, and I've been to quite a number of countries around the world, and yeah, I just keep coming back to Australia, and it's the dumbest people, to be honest with you. I've been to America, a lot of Europe, I've been Fiji. Where else I've been? I've been to, Africa as well. So even the Africans are smarter, man, to be brutally honest. That says a lot.
Yeah, well, Collins, Penfold says here in New Zealand, criminals stole the firearms owners' information they found in an abandoned police station. For God's sake.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Liam Cumbo said it's a tax. Yep, I would agree with that. Definitely a tax.
Yeah, it's just the way I was clawing the money back.
Yeah.
Mitchie, I get to pick up my Ruger precision rifle in 6.5 Creedmoor tomorrow. That is awesome. Jason and me actually reviewed that gun. We both enjoyed shooting it. Your thing's not is really soft, Jason. Can't hardly hear you.
Okay, what about now? Good?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, must have unplugged, caught a little bit there for a second. But put us in the comments. Has anyone out there been buying anything? I was looking at something the other day, just switching it up. Maybe I've got a straight pull on one of the sites. I'm, I'm going to be careful what we say here on the stream, but I'm getting rid of it, you could say. So I've got one, I want to get something a little bit different, one of these new ones that are out. So thinking about some mid-range stuff. Like, I know what I was thinking about. What's the difference, Like, you have one rifle, and if you have something in between for hunting and sort of that long range or / target shooting, you know what I mean? So not as a heavy barrel, because, I've got the couple of Tikkas, extremely heavy, really only made for one purpose. Then you've got, obviously, hunting, pencil-thin barrels, and then you've obviously got, your mid-range stuff, sort of like your mid-tapers, your Bagara B14s, you've got your Tikka CTRs, etc. So I'm just thinking about, having both. Sometimes weight versus practicality, two different things.
Well, we've talked about this before. There's really no hunting and a target rifle. They're two totally different sort of guns. They're set up differently. But it doesn't mean you can't get very, very good accuracy out of a pure hunting rifle.
Yeah, well, if you've got the right scope, that dials, something could have a small Vortex, you could have the VX5 HD, you could have a small Night Force, you could have, something that's reliable and can track. Certainly you can use a hunting rifle out to those distances, definitely.
Yeah, well, there's a video, you guys, you can go look at me shooting 1,000 meters fire extinguishers with my 30-06 hunting rifle, just the Hell's Canyon, popping them off one after the other. So you can definitely do it.
Here's an interesting one. Mr. John Boy, can anyone confirm from South Australia? He said no PTAs in South Australia, except about $40 for a lifetime registration. Well, I mean, that is kind of a PTA, isn't it, really? Because a lifetime registration, once we pay the PTA, we don't pay a PTA again unless we buy another rifle. So you'd only, well, yeah, well, it's basically the same thing, really, isn't it? It's a PTA because even though if I keep a gun for 20 years, I don't pay that PTA price again. So pretty much it's a PTA, really, isn't it? Just a different wording.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Phil's
So,
saying, down in Ballarat, they got a gun show coming up. First show in 2.5 years. Same old stuff as 2022 prices. Yeah, well, the last gun show they had up here, the police were monster stomping through it all, intimidating people, and yeah, just walking through the crowd, and people were feeling a bit uneasy and didn't really like it from all the comments I heard. And apparently, one guy said they were going up to some of the displays and telling them to take away the semi-automatics out of the glass cases. They don't want people looking at them.
yeah,
And
no,
and
that's not even legal to even request something like that from them. I mean, it's what the law
yeah,
says, not what a couple of jokers from the cops say.
yeah, and didn't our friend Mike Judge from the Gel Balls, they hounded him, didn't they, and try and take his Gel Ball blasters one year, didn't they?
Yeah, it was in. Yeah, that was in. I just finished interviewing him only about half an hour before that. It was at one of the shot expos here in Sydney. Yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Well, yeah, I know. Last time I talked to him, they've had to close masses of his stores around the country, and I think I only got the Queensland ones left now. The Queensland ones had to sack a lot of staff, made them unemployed because of ridiculous laws.
yeah, yeah. Oh, it's good to see some of the shows back and that. I tend to, I mean, it's just don't want to be a wet blanket, but it's pretty much the same every single year, really, isn't it? And then you don't really get you don't really get a lot of great deals in there. Things are just the same
No,
price. It's really just looking at what's out, seeing the new gear. I don't think I've been to one for 3 or 4 years, and even before
we
COVID, just wasn't not.
I think it's been like 5 years since we've had one up here, and yeah, it looked cheap and tacky, and it's just looked like it came across as a flea market, really. Just a
Like a back of the boot out at the drive-in, back of the
yeah,
boot sale.
yeah, yeah. That's it. Yeah, in the car park. Yeah, yeah. So
Matt
it wasn't.
Cato said he's bought a 223 in the brand we won't mention. Aaron's most hated brand.
Oh, is that the poor man Seiko?
Well, he loves it. He's probably shooting old Matt Cato. He's not only shooting 223s, he's shredding guitars also.
Yeah, yeah. Well, 223, one of my favourite rounds. Cheap to feed. Well, is anything cheap to feed now? But yeah, cheap to feed, very accurate, and yeah, good round. Love it.
Yeah, exactly. Who else we got here? Sean White. What do you say? Literally, that's not really. That must be a response to someone else. D40 thinking about getting a 300 Win Mag for long range. Any thoughts? I got a 300 Win Mag. I mean, yeah, great caliber. I mean, as far as I'm aware, the Army, I don't know if they use it now. They might use 338. Can't remember. They used it as a sniper rifle in the Army. So
the Marines, they'd use the Remington 700 one.
Yeah.
300 Win Mag. Yeah, very accurate. Good gun.
Yeah. If you're going to run something, I would recommend, listen, my opinion, and you totally disregard it, of course, but if I'm going to run there, I wouldn't run lighter bullets. If you're going to run lighter bullets, I'd run 7 Rem Mag. But if you're going to run the heavier bullets to get the best BC, and you're going to shoot long range, anywhere from the, I reckon probably the good middle ground is 208 grain ELD match bullet. So look up the 208 grain. I think the BC is like 690. It's almost 700. So that's pretty darn good. And if you run the 168s or something like that, or 180s, nowhere near as good on BC. Perhaps I'm overplaying BC or ballistic. BC stands for ballistic coefficient, or ballistic coefficient. Maybe I'm overstating it a little bit, but I think great weight. If you do want to shoot something on the other side of the hill and you do become proficient at that, it's certainly got enough takedown power, at those longer distances as well, because you've got 208, or you can run 225, but I reckon 208 is just perfect. I reckon absolutely perfect.
Well, I'm running 220 Sierra Match Kings in the 300 Rum, which is just a bit bigger than the 300 Win Mag. But ELD matches or the
you get the burgers too.
Sierra
the burgers
Match
are pretty good. Burgers are good.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's cost so much. Well, everything's very expensive now, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. You're
So
hard to get to at times, but I mean, you got the burgers, they're pretty good. What are they?
I've been here.
VLDs, very low drag.
Yep, I've been hearing a lot of people chattering in forums that they are considering not even bothering reloading for pistols anymore. That's going to buy factory ammo in bulk because it's
Why?
hard to get the primers and it's not much cheaper anymore.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're a pistol shooter out there, guys, tell us: are you going to be doing reloading all for your pistols, or just go grab the cheap factory ammo off the shelf? That's exactly what I'm thinking of doing when I run out of all my homemade ones. I'm already doing that with the 45 ACP.
Here we go. Dat dank bloke's got on. Why do the cops discriminate against semi-autos? It's 2022. They should stop being so phobic. Well, they've been taught, mate, that, semi-autos are bad. They've generally got an ego complex. They don't like being shown up. And, they think they got control of people. And we saw their true nature during the last 2 years. That's what they really want to do. That's what they really act like, if given the opportunity to, guys. Even though we pay their taxes and we pay their wages, they treat people like garbage. I've got friends that are cops, and after a while, they find it very. Yeah, but these are former cop. One stood as a cop, but even they say they eventually because they're dealing with crims all the time, they just start to see everybody as a criminal. And sometimes they've got to remind themselves that when they're dealing with the public, that person's not a criminal. So because they deal with criminals so often, it just gets in their psyche that everyone's bad. Someone's, they're just even though that person's good, they're just waiting to commit an offense,
Yeah, geez, I'd never have a friend as a cop as a friend. Yeah, that made me feel nauseous.
Makes sense. Well, these are former cops. Well, again, when I say friend, it's not someone I hang out with that comes hunting with me. I might see him at a party once a year, you know what I mean? But when you talk to them, you just ask them, what's the go? And you get information out of them. It's not hard. They don't mind opening up their gob. They don't mind opening up their gob, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, they like to backstab their own quite a bit from what I hear.
Yeah, so interesting.
Yeah. Matt Cato asking, anyone got any 300 WSM dives they want to sell? Everything reloading is getting hard now. I was talking to a mate this week who might be selling his Dillon press, and he said he's going to get absolutely top dollar for it because they're all rare as hen's teeth right now. The 650 Dillons, with all the with those die sets and everything, he's looking at a few grand for it secondhand.
Yeah. 300 WSM is not bad, but see, there's a toss-up between long action, short action. I don't think it really matters per se. They're both good, I mean, if you like short actions, you can do short action, but, the Teak is not a true long action when you get it. It's just basically, or the action's the same. Is the action pinned, I think, for the smaller calibers or whatever it may be? What do they call it? Basically, you can't pull it back further than you normally would, but with the 300 Win Mag, you can. I don't know. They only make one size. They only make one size action. They don't make short or long action. So,
Yep. Not NKR Buster. Just got a Huglu 200 AES XS and gonna get the
side
new
by
pump
side.
action. Yep. New pump action 223 from Southern Cross Small Arms, which will be a nice gun. They make very nice gear. Old Demir down there, very nice. It'll be a very interesting gun.
Yeah, I do like the side by sides. I really do, but it's hard to find one, except for probably the Fab Arm Classics. Very hard to find cheap good ones. I had what was it? I can't remember what it was called, but man, physical fit was fantastic, but man, it was just garbage mechanically, absolute garbage. I think I sent it back to Niowa twice, and they just ended up refunding me the money because it was just complete garbage. So,
yeah, I've got a Berto. Man, I've had that for 10 odd years. It's never let me down at all.
yeah,
I don't even run chokes in it. I just use it for slugs. I don't even have any.
Is it a full smooth bore, or you just has it got threads in the end of it?
Yeah, got threads in it. Yeah.
Fuck it. Oh.
Yeah, I understand.
You've just destroyed it. Just destroyed it.
No, there's no chokes. Just yeah, rip them out. Yeah, I want to cut the barrels down to like a bit shorter, but still make it legal.
That was I mean, I do remember it now. It was the Acker Churchill 5. I think it was the 512. Yeah, it was good. Man, beautiful fit and finish. I really liked it, but just mechanically, it was just horseshit, man. Absolute horseshit.
Yeah. Peter's asked, anyone got any experience with the Buckmaster Shorty? Now,
Shoddy.
Shoddy. Isn't that the new Chinese one that's out?
Yeah, I think that's from Naira as well. They're the lever release. I think they're very similar to the Verni Caron Veloci. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I wouldn't mind looking at one of them. The thumb release is pretty good, but I think there was a lot of, people trying to bring him in and the mixture of Verni Caron versus the other one and some legal stuff. So I don't want to go into it, but glad to see they're available in a bit more of a cheaper option. Obviously, the Verni Caron's expensive, so it's obviously got the quality, no doubt. But how are these going to compare in quality? Well, I don't know. I haven't got my hands on one just yet.
Are they a 5-shot compared to the Verni Caron, which is a 3-shot, I think?
Is it? No, I think these are definitely 5. Anyone know that it's the Buck? So they had the Buckmaster, but then they've got one. I'm pretty sure that's the note called the Bushmeister. That's the difference. There's a Buckmaster, and I think the Bushmeister or Bushmeister is from Naira. I'm pretty sure it's the Bushmeister. Have a look.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah. Why would they call them very similar? God knows why.
You probably find that several different companies will start bringing the same gun and slap a different sticker on it.
Yeah, it's the Bushmeister, Meister, BA-/X12. So the Bushmeister BA-X12. They got a bunch of different ones here. They've got like a 20 gauge synthetic tactical. Let's have a look here. What one have they got here? Oh yeah, they've got the 12 gauge, a 28-inch in wood. They've got a synthetic. Yeah, they've got a bunch of them.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Talking some pistols here. Someone, I can't remember, see it was talking about. Yeah, here we go, Matt. Can't go past the Glock. Yeah, Glocks are nice guns, but I really do prefer my Sig Sauer P320 only because it's a bit heavier than a Glock, and I find it a bit more accurate. But yeah, nothing wrong with the old Glocks. I don't mind them all. Well, I've shot dozens of different sorts. Yeah, they're very good guns.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how much these Bushmeisters are going for, but they've definitely got the rig. Yeah, they're 5 interchangeable chokes, 3-inch chamber, 5+1 magazine capacity actually. So 5 in the magazine plus 1 up the chute.
Yep.
Which is not
bad. That'd be all right. Yeah, it'd be good to have a look at one of those.
Yeah, drilled for receiver and scope, etc. 12 gauge, 2 3/4 and 3-inch loads.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting
to
see what the build quality is like.
Has anyone got one yet? Are they available? Because I did see a guy did one on the on a YouTube video. So it'd be interesting to find out.
Christo. Got a Bushmaster finish. Okay, haven't had it in the field yet. That sounds good.
Okay. Hey, Christo, did he get the? Did you get the wooden one or did you get the synthetic one? Let us know.
Yeah.
Andrew Markle said he handled one synthetic one in the shop. Felt good. That's nice.
Yep. I normally go for the synthetic ones, but only because it's just it's just a lot easier to carry around, less weight. I still haven't put my knockoff EOTech on the shotgun yet. I've been meaning to do it for like 2 years. It's still sitting here next to the computer.
Hey, you know what happened too? I was looking at one the other day. I've got a couple of, which is really annoying to me. It's going to cost you about $150, maybe 180. I've got those GRS Berserk stocks. So someone sent me a replacement recoil pad for it, which was sort of damaged. But I've pulled them out of the safe the other day. Sometimes I sit them up, sometimes I sit them down. You had to fit them in, one up, one down, one barrel up, one down. Mate, the recoil pads are absolutely stuffed, man. Absolutely stuffed.
Yeah.
I've got the AirTech Limb Saver, and I've had that for longer than these ones. Not a problem, not a mark on it, no dilapidation, no nothing. But the GRS ones, man, are just completely butchered. They're starting to break away. They're starting to
crazy crack.
Horrible, man. Absolutely horrible. Bit disappointing because I'm going to go spend $80 for 2 more of them. I mean, I don't really have to, but they look like absolutely shocking, like breaking apart and just breaking off, and it's just they look terrible.
Oh, jeez. I like the feel of the berserkers.
Yeah, they're not a bad little stock. Yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah, here we go. Mark Duncan brought a CZ 515 and 22 LR this week. Blown away how accurate it is. Yeah, mine's pretty accurate as well. Yeah, they're good little guns. I have heard they're going to stop making them, someone told me. So get them while you can.
Yeah, someone said the Buckmaster has the button on the forend. Yes, I did see that. Yeah. So the Buckmaster is different than the Bushmeister. The Bushmeister's got the thumb relief like the Verni Caron Veloci, but the Buckmaster's got the button. Yes, that is correct. I do remember that now. Well done.
Yep.
Who was that? That was Peter. Peter sat out.
Yep. Okay. So, guys, let us know what you have been buying and what you've been shooting in the last 4 weeks while we have been away. Now, I'm just going to try to find the story that came up, which was quite funny.
The Bushmeister apparently 1,050 in Sydney, so that's interesting.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that to see how it goes. Well, it seems Christo said it was all right, so I might have a look at one this week. I wouldn't mind getting one. I'm going to see if I can get one at the shop, but I want the synthetic one, synthetic 28-inch, because I'll be shooting probably ducks with it and so forth. Yeah. I mean, the straight pulls are good for pigs. I reckon you got a straight pull, perfect. Pigs, close quarter hunting, absolutely perfect. For clays and ducks, it's a bit too cumbersome, man. That's why I think the thumb release would be pretty darn good.
Yep. I just got a request for a shout out here, Jason, to say good night to Hayden, which is a mate's son. So good night, Hayden, from Southern Star Reviews, little fella.
Yeah. All right, so people are screaming out for the roll call. So I'm sorry, these are the only ones showing up in participants, guys. Andrew Markle, Antonio, is it Bianchi or Bianchi? Sorry if I got that wrong. Aaron Johnson, Christo Z, Cliff Lee, Colin Penfold, Dat Dank Bloke, Fox 86, Mark Duncan, Matt Outdoor Adventures, Matt 1976, Matt Cato, Mr. John Boy. Someone's called Oi, Lockie McFarlane, Peter Sayat, Phantom HD, Phil Walter, Sean White. We've also got, my apologies, Vegas AB. So I'm sorry, guys. That's all the people that are showing up in my list at the moment. I've absolutely no idea why. If you've been commenting and you didn't get read out, blame YouTube. Blame YouTube.
Well, here's something interesting. Harp
Southern
said,
Star Review.
He said OSA has now the importer for Ruger in Australia, but I just looked it up and it still says Nye is the importer.
Be interesting to how Niwa would lose one.
Yeah. No, they seem to be eating everything up.
Yeah, I reckon one day they'll probably have everything, man. Then we'll have no choice to pay the prices. People are asking.
Starting to get that way. Well, what is well, the company's lost Remington, and they've got hardly anything, haven't they? So.
Oh yeah, Remington. Yeah, that was the Remington importer in Australia. Yeah.
Yeah, and that went to Naya as well. So they're getting all the big names now. Those guys.
Pretty sure Naya took over GRS too at one stage, not a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Yep.
So eventually they'll probably have everything, and you won't be able to purchase anything from anyone else.
Cliff saying I'm going to start shooting cap and ball revolver. Yeah, they're pretty cool. I've shot a few of those. I shot an original one from the 1800s as well. A cowboy one. I can't exactly remember which one it was. They're a lot of fun. I love it. Yeah, nothing like all the smoke and the bang. It takes a bit to reload though, but just a bit of fun to do. I'm actually thinking of getting a musket for a laugh.
Lame. Matt Cato said he's been shooting a lot of foxes, just cashed in 57. Wow. And he bought some hunting boots. Nice. Why not, eh? If you can make money while shooting a lot and putting a lot of money down range, I mean, bullets aren't getting any cheaper, even if you reload.
Well, it's tax time, guys. What are you guys going to do with your tax money? I know what I've just done. I've just spent
Yeah.
a lot of money on a new tool for the workshop that you can go see on my other channel.
Yeah, exactly. Lockie's keeping his eyes out for a second hand sour 101243. Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Yeah,
Christo got a T3X Hunter Tika, your favorite brand, Aaron, in 250, fluted, blued, first lot of reloads, 5 rounds touching. Yeah, very good. Why
yeah.
not?
Matt's saving for a tank of diesel. Oh, it's Southern Star. Sorry, Matt here. Saving up for a tank of diesel. Yeah, you got to
Exactly.
take a bit
Yeah.
of a loan out. Yeah, what is it? I
This
paid.
is the first time in ages that I don't drive a lot at the moment, so I'm a filling up like $20 at a time. Like I'm just not filling up a whole tank, man, because man, it's going to cost me like $150, $160.
I'm going through $200 worth of diesel a week just for work, driving around.
Jesus,
Yeah,
crazy.
it is. It is.
Colin's getting his DJI, wants a DJI drone,
Yeah,
DJI Mini 2. I got a drone myself. I do use it when I'm hunting and filming and stuff like that. They are pretty good, but I'm
I
more of
just
a. If I didn't, but wasn't making videos on the odd occasion, I probably wouldn't have a drone. I just didn't. They're not much use for it for me, but they definitely are a lot of fun to get some great photos. That's for sure as well.
yeah. I just crashed my drone again and broke the leg off it. It's held together by tape now.
Have you damaged it again?
Yeah, I
You've
broke
hit
the
so
leg off
many
it.
things, man. So many things you've
Yeah.
hit.
Oh, yeah, especially when I fly out in the shed filming. Yeah.
Well, here we go. Hang on, one here. I know what Aaron's going to say here. We know he's going to go the. He's basically going to go the Madonna round, which is the old wrinkly. Hey boys, what's your thoughts on the best all-round deer caliber in Australia?
Yeah.
And then actually asked how your old colleague was going. Old Marty. He goes, have you spoke to Marty? How's Marty going?
Yeah, I spoke to him a while ago. He's just plodding
You
along
saw him at the
okay.
range, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah. No, he's plodding along all right. Yeah, yeah. At first, I talked to him for a couple of years. Yeah, but no, he
Yeah,
seems to
right.
be going all right. Yeah, he doesn't do
Very
much
good.
shooting anymore.
Yeah.
Um,
So what's your favourite caliber? Deer caliber, he's asking.
oh, it's got to be 3006 or 308. One of
I
those
told
two.
you guys. I told you.
Got to be a 30 cal, that's for sure, to really put the smack down.
I mean, listen, I would say, again, what sort of deer? You got to be legal in Victoria. So in some states, it's only a recommendation, like New South Wales. I would definitely say 6.5 and up. That's what I would say. Preferably something probably in the 7mm and up, I would say. But there's a lot of people out there shooting deer with the 6.5, just not in Victoria. If you're in Victoria, you've got to have minimum 7mm, so 7 mag, 708. Then you're getting your 30 cals, man. 300 Win Mag, 308, as Aaron said, 3006, 330 if you want to go bigger. Again, depends what sort of deer you're shooting too. If you're shooting fallow, I've seen guys shoot fallow in the head all day, every day with the 223 in New South Wales. So, again, small animals, some people say, listen, why have an excessive recoil when you potentially don't need it, depending on the type of animal you're shooting. If you're shooting big sambar or reds, maybe that's a different story. But again, how far, all comes into it. Mate, 6.5 will smash any deer. Mate, you shoot him in the head or you shoot him in the neck or a good shot in the side at 50, 100 meters, no problem. Any of those ones are going to do the job.
And here we go. Carbon Spider. Aaron, when are you going to do more hunting videos? Getting old watching the reruns. Mate, I have no idea. As you all know, I got rid of the review videos. They're just pointless to make because we're just, Jason's the same, sick of being a free advertising agency for people and not getting any, not even getting phones answered when you give them a call. So yeah, there will be no more sort of gun reviews at all ever again. I just don't have the time really. I've got to get out hunting. Yeah, I'll film some stuff out when I go hunting next. I don't know when that'll be. It's been a couple of years, but yeah, we'll have to see.
What about some long range shooting stuff? You still got access to the farm, so
yeah. To be quite honest, going out and shooting and filming got to the stage where it just sucks the life out of shooting. You just don't want to do it anymore because setting up the guns, you just want to go out, sit down and shoot and enjoy yourself, not have to worry about filming absolutely everything you do. To me, it's starting to really get on my nerves, filming every time I went out shooting, and I just wasn't enjoying it anymore.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I don't blame you. Foxy86 says, what gone? You go.
I, especially when you do all the editing, and it's like Jason, and then you get about $2.50 back from the ad revenue. So you blow a day to film, a day or so or two to edit, so 2 to 3 days
And
to
I'm
make a video, and you make $2.50. People
Yeah,
go,
I'm
oh, you
not.
should be making
People
it for
don't
the
see what's
enjoyment,
in it. People don't see
but
what's in it, in the making. It's just, you're out there actually shooting, and then it's equal to or double the time in editing. Especially if you want to put something decent together too. And I think the days of Australia, there's a lot of guys already making reviews over in the US, and and it's been done, man. I think it's done. It's run its course, and I think there's
yeah,
more views in hunting or shooting or actually going out and showing something. You know what I mean? Like review videos are just dropping off like all across YouTube, not just even
yeah. Well, so
even the big reviewers are just massively dropping off. Huge.
yeah, well, there's only so much you can do with bolt action before they get a bit boring. 10 years I've been filming, shooting my guns and everything, and just get to the stage where it really does just get a bit pointless. People go, you should do it for the enjoyment for it, but there is no enjoyment when you're giving up every weekend and not making any money out of it. It's just the enjoyment's gone, way gone. That left years ago.
Dat Dank Bloke says drones are really good for for hunting. At least that's what the Ukrainians tell me. Foxy86 said, "What have I got?" I'm presuming he means deer caliber. I run the 7mm Ram mag with 162 grain ELDX, but I think I've got them now. I haven't done the reloading yet, but I've got them reloaded, ready to go. But
I didn't.
I've had 308. I've had 308, man. I started off with a 7mm 08, fantastic caliber. Again, all depends if you're reloading or not. Then I went to 308, just simple, easy to get. But I was reloading anyway, so it didn't really matter what caliber it really was. And then I sold that, and I went to 7mm Rem mag. Why, you might ask? I just get itchy, man. Sometimes I like to buy shit, like most of us. Sometimes I sell it. Sometimes I've bought something, sold it, and then a year later went, oh shit, probably shouldn't have sold that, and then I've bought it back again. The exact same thing. And I said, I shouldn't have sold that, So, man, I just get bored sometimes and just want something new, just to keep the passion. It's the thrill of purchasing and putting a scope and getting a gun worked out, getting the load worked out.
Yep.
Something to do.
Well, Matt's got the right idea, and he's hit the nail on the head. There's no exciting guns at the moment as the problem. And he's right. We've pretty much come to the end of the line because we're so limited to what the cops and the government will allow us to own. It's all just starting to all get the sort of the same sort of thing. And there's only so many bolt actions that they're going to produce and put out. There's not really groundbreaking stuff. And I think after the lever release fad's gone, I think the whole thing is just going to go stale because there's really not much else can be done. We can't have semi-autos. We can't hunt with our pistols, and we can't shoot our pistols on private land. So that's pretty much gone. And most pistol clubs don't allow you to film pistols at their club for some reason.
And you've been working a bit, and no one, like we and Aaron were talking about this before, no one in Australia that I know is doing YouTube full time. Yet I know Aaron knows him too. I know one guy in particular. Now they talked to him a couple of weeks ago. I mean, he's got like 15,000, 18,000 subscribers on YouTube in America, and he's about to go full time. He's making enough to go full time, whether it be payments, products, whatever it may be, a small bit of YouTube revenue, not getting a hell amount of views because the views is what makes you the money. Here, mate, you could have 200,000 and you just can't do it. I mean, there's just no support from the industry like there is overseas. That's just, Aaron was doing it 10 years. I was doing it for 10 years. We just know. And that brings us to Carbon's one as well. He said to me, when are you going to make some more hunting videos? Getting old watching the reruns. The rabbits got wiped out on the property. So we're actually going to be heading back there in a month just as a drive-through just to see if the rabbits are back. But yeah, I mean, a lot of work in those rabbit hunting videos, man. 15, 20, 25 hours of editing, sourcing music, writing up scripts for voiceovers and getting all your shots, man. It's a shit ton of work. And sometimes one of them did really well. One's just clicked over 50,000, which is fantastic. But most of them are anywhere from 5 to 20,000 views, and you make like $60. So, and people get sick of it, don't they? When we're moving the camera around, and you've got to get out of your car, you've got to get a shot, you've got to get B-roll. You're telling your friend, listen, man, do what you just did, do that again, so I can get it on camera. And then people just get the shits with it after a while.
exactly. Andrew goes, get a cat D, you won't be boring. Yeah, you go take your cat D out here in Queensland, they catch you just shooting it, plinking away, kiss your cat D, go goodbye, and the
Kiss
tens of
everything
thousands of
goodbye.
dollars.
Kiss
Yeah,
everything
nah,
goodbye.
I'm not wasting my money. I'd much rather fly to the US and shoot my friends' semi-autos and come back than waste my time and money in getting a cat D over here. Because the
Yeah.
amount of time that you'll ever be allowed to use it over here, it's just pointless. I'd much rather go to the US and shoot my friends' semi-autos and full auto guns, and then come back here again.
Yeah. Sean said he dropped a 6.6 Red Stag with his 6.5 Creedmoor last year, 143 ELDX. Yeah, well, if you've watched some of the videos on the AHP Outdoors on the rabbits, man, just, mate, I don't know what it was. It was raining for a couple of days, and on the last day, it was just exploding rabbits. I'm not sure if it was just pure luck, hitting him in the right spot on bone, maybe something to do with the atmospheric conditions since it had been raining the 3 days before. No idea. But on that day, man, it was walloping rabbits, just incinerating us. I'd shoot them and they'd be over there 10 meters away, or they'd be two pieces. Unbelievable. If you don't, yeah, watch them. AHP Outdoors, if you haven't seen them. They're like rabbit hunting. What is it? Rabbit hunt shooting or rabbit hunting Australia. There's about 6 or 7 of those series videos on there.
Yeah, yeah. No, it came up really good. And sometimes you just get onto a property, which I absolutely love, and you just hit that sweet spot that's just full of vermin. So wherever you look, you're just blasting away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've
If
had
they were getting 100,000 views on a video, yeah, you can see why it's worthwhile. But I mean, the amount of time, man. Sometimes I remember I've pulled the footage off on a Friday, and I'm editing all day Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and I still haven't finished. Then you got to, do thumbnails, and you got to. It's a lot of stuff, man.
yeah, the owner of this house I was working on today, he's got a farm up in Warwick, and he said the pigs are just starting to come back again, but he doesn't allow anyone to go shooting on his property at all.
Yeah.
But the pigs are just starting to come back again. He said they've been gone for quite a while.
Here we go. Dat Dank Blow says, do you think there should be a carve-out in the laws that can allow certain ranges to operate like a tourist ranges with semi-autos similar to ranges like Battlefield Vegas in the US? I mean, it would
Yeah,
be nice to be able to do that, but
but man, they would never allow anyone to touch a full auto, and they don't even want us touching semi-autos, but they'd never allow us to touch a full auto. You
yeah.
can buy tanks over here, but they've got to be all decommissioned
I
and
mean,
not
it's crazy how you
drive.
can't even if you at the gun shop or the range and someone had a Cat D or a semi-auto or shotgun, whatever, you can't even touch it. It's a loss of license immediately straight
Immediately.
away.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's
So
just
yeah,
ridiculous. This country, it just sucks, man.
yeah, it does. No, and they have the pistols at the pistol ranges that you can shoot as a tourist, but they're all wired up, so it's like pointless. You can't even use the gun properly because they're bolted to wires, so you can hardly move it. So it's yeah, they're sucking the entire life out of the shooting sports over here, and that's what they want to do. They want to make it appealing and fun for you. They
Mm,
want to just make it boring and expensive so you don't go out and get your license. And this is why a lot of elderly people I talk to have given up their gun licenses because they keep saying their whole plans were when they retire they can go to the pistol club and shoot and rifle club and shoot with their other retired friends. But a lot of them now have given up their guns fully because it's too expensive for the licenses, for the ammo, and all the hoops you got to jump through. And the retired guys, some of them just can't afford it anymore, which is a real shame because they said this is all they wanted to do when they retire. Now they're
yeah.
retired and they've had to give it away.
Carbon said again, he knows it's hard, but he enjoys the videos. He's just afraid that we're not getting out. That's the main thing. Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, listen, I do like making videos. I love the creative process on them. But what I like to make is not necessarily what people want to watch. Me and Aaron get questions all the time about, what do you? I want to make YouTube videos. That first off, you're probably 10 years too late.
Yeah.
Secondly, the fact is, especially if you're hunting, if you don't have a lot of game to shoot, like me, I've already done it twice. I've been to state forests and seen deer, can't shoot them, can't get them on camera, or I've just seen nothing for the whole trip. And then you've spent that whole time there filming and getting all the shots, and then just to come home to either wipe that footage, or I've made a video, spent the time on it, and you don't shoot anything. It just gets boring. So if you've got a lot of game to shoot, if you've got access to place where you can, like use thermals or shooting or a lot of game, it'll probably work for you if you're shooting and you've got some creative artistic editing, you might do pretty good. But if you're just a state forest hunter, public land hunter, probably going to be very difficult because shooting game is very hit and miss, and you can only make so many videos shooting nothing like I have. So
don't start a YouTube channel thinking you're going to make money. It just doesn't happen anymore. The money's not there. Jason, me talk about it because we've got our other 2 channels. We both have other channels we film and make videos for, and and they've definitely done something to the old algorithm and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, just the last month or 2, they've done something to it. Everyone seems to be down, but I don't know why.
Well, I know people in the building industry who have 1.5 million subscribers, and it's going up, and they can hardly get 50,000 views on a video now out of 1.5 million.
Yeah. Vanessa Kitty, I haven't seen Vanessa before. Vanessa Kitty, interesting name. Bunny hunting when stationed in the Arctic was amazing. Yeah, I'm sure that little. When did they actually come out? Were they during the day or the night? I mean, a bit cold at night for them, wouldn't it? They probably do. I mean, I guess they've got to come out and eat, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, yeah.
38 Prowler's a bit of a naughty boy. He said he's evening, guys and girls. He's logging in from work on the sly.
Good stuff.
Just don't tell your boss.
Yeah.
Government doesn't like spud guns, says Aaron Johnson. Australia is effed. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Well, Vanessa must be in America because Connecticut gas screwy laws around air guns listed dangerous destructive devices except tiny carved for hunting the air rifle comp.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fox 86 has got a good one. New channel, AHP Shooting Nothing Australia. That's what it feels like sometimes, man. That's what it definitely feels like when you go out there and you've spent days, filming and getting all the astrophotography and hours of shooting. Like I said, unless you've done it, people really don't know what goes into it. Really,
exactly.
Especially when you're putting together a production. Like I try to make stuff that's at least, got a story. I like to watch people when they're out there hunting, what are they eating? What are they shooting? Just banter around camp, things like that. I just don't want to see, the video come up and bang, 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 and then bang, bang, a million things getting. It's just not my cup of tea after a while,
That's all I want to see. I just want to see the animals exploding. I don't care what you're eating and stuff like that.
Here we go. What do you guys want to see? Do you want to see a story when someone's out hunting, the whole process, or do you just want to see no talking, get into it, bang, bang, bang? What do you want to see? Let us know in the comments. Am I doing it wrong?
Nothing but pink myth. You just want to see meat flying. Yeah, make those paddock pizzas. That's all I want to see. I don't want to hear talking and people walking around.
Carbon Spider said, Aaron, he watched his build videos you did a pretty good job there. Well, he did until he bought that 6.5 PRC and then the thing's blowing up bullets downrange. So
no, we're talking about the build videos of the other channel.
Oh, sorry. Well, still, hey, it doesn't matter. Even if you talk about when he built his rifle, he's still blowing them up anyway. So it definitely still works.
Well, here we go, guys. I have an idea of building a coffee table and a resin river coffee table with a replica handgun that looks pretty real and an AR-15 one as well, or a Beretta handgun, and a cutting board. Would anyone be interested in buying those?
There you go. Mr. John Boy, here we go. One for you, Aaron. I got an answer for this one. Best oil for gun cleaning maintenance.
Cleaning?
Yeah.
I don't do that.
Listen, if I'm cleaning the outside, I don't think you can go past inox. Nah, too expensive, man. Don't waste your money on that, man. Right? Inox on the outside, you're looking at about $100 for about $80, $90 for 5 liters. Mate, that lasts you till your whole shooting career, probably. You can use it on other stuff too, tools and your 4-wheel drive and so forth. And then on the barrel, what are you using the barrel? Just like standard hoppies or...
to be honest with me, and I think you sort of think the same, gun oil on that is pretty much all the same sort of stuff.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
I just use whatever I got on hand because given a lot over the years, so I just go through whatever I got. I just grab something off the shelf and just stick it through a patch and drive it through. But I don't really clean my guns all that much, to be honest with you. I spray them down when they're sitting in the safe, and then I clean them every few times I shoot them. I don't religiously clean them every time I take them out.
There you go. Long range letter says, no yapping, just killing. Matt Cato said,
Yeah.
rabbits, bang, bang, bang. Deer, I want to see the hunt. So there we go. There's a couple of different ones. Ballastole is good, said D40. Southern Star Review, no. Listen, G96 is good. It's just too if I had G96, mate, I'd be going through too much money because I just use way too much of it.
Well, you don't have to lather your gun in it.
Carbon Spider said he likes it all, but he also likes the camp cooking as well. That's pretty interesting.
Rem oil. I always have found the Remington oil, gun oil pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Colin Penfold said he enjoys the story, so there you go. Tank Meister says hoppies after a shave. Some people like the smell, definitely.
I do not like the smell of hoppies at all. Not at all. No, not at all.
I think I've used Bortec. What's the one from Bortec? That Bortec Eliminator or whatever it's called. For
I've started using that actually.
That's pretty good.
It's pricey, but it is very good. Yeah. I leave it to soak for about 5 minutes before I.
Yeah, but you don't have to use that all the time. A little small bottle, man, lasts you years, man. Years. Probably go off before it. Yeah, I hope it doesn't go off actually, because I still got a lot left.
It shouldn't go off if you don't keep it. If you keep the lid on and don't let the air get to it.
Cliff Lee says ballastole, some rem oil. Spit on a rag, says Sean. Wipe the blood off. Yeah, I don't know about that. It might rust and that, especially if you. Peter Satout uses Bortec as well. Has anyone bought any scopes? Let us know if you have any scope haulers in the comments. What scopes have you purchased? Mate, all I can think about is I'm lucky that couple of years ago I bought all those reloading components, man. So lucky because, now it's paying off, man. Like I was buying those 140 grain ELD matches in 6.5, $55, $56 ship, mate. They're $92 a box now. Shit's just gone crazy.
Oh, it is. And it's only going to get worse.
Cliff Lee said Ned's Red. I thought it was Ed's Red. Ed for Edward. Ed's Red. Am I right or wrong? Let me know. I'm sure it's Ed's Red. We can call it Ned's Red if we want to.
Well, after we we talked about all this during the primer shortage video, and it's definitely going to get very scarce out there. So, man, I wish I bought the primers years ago and stocked up. Like a few people I know. I've got a mate who's got thousands of small pistol rifle. He's going to be getting small pistol primers. He's going to be getting rid of very soon.
Here we go. I did see Foxy86 mention this before, so here we go. Great. He wants a recommendation for a long-range scope. What do you reckon?
I use the Vortex razors. I like them.
Okay, what's the budget? That's the question. What is the budget?
Yep.
What is the budget?
Yeah, it's hard.
Well, firstly, let us know in the comments if you've got a rig that's sort of long range. What are you using for the long range scope? If I was going on the low end, see, it all depends. If you're crossing over purely for target, you can do a little bit of a crossover to a certain degree. I think definitely you can. I
got 2 Vortex razors. I tried the Vortex. I think it's on the precision rifle, the 308. I got the Vortex Viper, the new one, which isn't too bad. I do think Vortex are a bit overpriced for what they are, but they seem to work all right for me. I've had no problems with them. What else?
See, Cliff Lee said, got a NOS, Nico Target Master, 12 to 40 for cheap. Never seen those, but so long as it tracks good, that's the main thing. 531 or 513 Dreams, I should say, says Vortex Strike Eagle, 5 to 25. Foxy said his budget's around 4K. I mean, the sky's your limit. Listen, they say, right, I reckon anything over that 1,500 plus, probably $2,000, let's say $1,500 to $2,000 and beyond higher than that. Listen, what you're getting, I just think for the extra $2,000, it's that law of diminishing returns, I think. It really is. I mean, if you look through a $2,000 scope and a $4,000 scope, unless you're a bit of a scope whore, you're really not going to see much difference. But, maybe the tracking, but also if you spend $2,000 on a scope, you expect that it's going to track properly. You're not buying $2,000 worth of scope so it doesn't track properly. But as people said, you've got the Night Force, Carl's, you've got
Charles,
Schmidt and Bender, you've got Vortex, what else have you got? Like I said, I'm probably one of the lost, forgotten ones. I'm still big on the, which are probably the original, somewhat long-range shooting rig, probably back in the day, was the Citron series, Citron S3. I've got a couple of Citron S3s. They're about $2,000. But yeah, I quite like the Citrons. They were they started to get left behind a little bit on some of the features they had. But again, I don't want a scope for features. I want a good scope that tracks and's got good glass, So, you got the Vortex Viper PST Gen 2s. Man, they're all good. I mean, Virus.
I've shot the Swarovski, but I don't know. I just didn't work for me for the eyes. I just couldn't get comfortable behind the scope. I just couldn't get the right, the right distance or anything, unfortunately, because they do make great glass. That's for sure.
Yeah, my mum used to buy their crystals years ago, man, at Swarovski. But the only thing I think Swarovski's been left behind them, I mean, they've got their X5i, which is very expensive. But I think for hunting scopes, yeah, absolutely fantastic. For long ranging, other than the X5i, for long range shooting, not really. You can't really dial them. You've only got that, ring system, whereas at 200, 400, whatever you set it to, 600. And then you click around, the X5 probably does change that to a certain degree. But I mean, at the end of the day, too, that's a very, very expensive scope as well. So,
well, Dirty Fox here is using the Zeiss. You and me
Zeiss,
both have Zeiss.
Yeah.
You've got one, I've got one. I have one on my 223 for my hunting rig, and I really like it.
I mean, put it this way: you got the Swaro, the X5i 5-25 by 56. You're looking at about $4,600. Don't forget, you've also got the Leopold Mark V. You've also got I had one before, but I changed them back to 30mm objectives just because of weight. But I had the Delta Striker optical. They're about a bit over $2,500 now. The Delta Striker.
Yeah, I really do like my VX5 HD. I really like that.
Yeah. See, that's what I would do. Definitely if I was going to cross over into something that you can dial. But listen, the VX5 is also limited, I think, to 2 revolutions on the CDS dial system. But for most calibers and most shooters in a decent caliber, it's easily going to get you out to way over 1,000 meters in probably 7 mag, probably 800-900, 1,000 meters. So
and then you
don't really have to worry about it,
Yeah, no, exactly. And they are made for hunting. They're not, but you can do long range, and I've shown that on my long range with my hunting with shooting with the hunting rifles long range. So that's what I was using.
Here we go. Mill or MOA before a couple more minutes. Mill or MOA? I go Mills, but Aaron's a MOA haul. We know the long range shooters all use the long range shooters all use millimeters, and then there's Aaron or Mills.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mills.
No, a lot of them I do use the MOA. Yeah, a lot of them use the MOA. Just no. Oh, Miopta. Don't see many people shooting the Miopta. They're not bad scopes at all, and they were very, very well priced. The Miopta they're very good glass. Now, didn't the guy from Leica you interviewed? He said the Miopta are very good and very good price point as well, because they weren't a big known brand. I don't know what the price like now.
I wasn't I saw the Optica 6s. I didn't like the glass on the Optica 6s. I just didn't think it was up to par. I think they compromised on the glass to give you the features of the dialing, which not too fussed on it. I'd prefer to have good glass and good dialing. So I did notice a bit. It wasn't as clear as other scopes, definitely. But I mean, they're hunting scopes though, Miopta. I mean, the Mio Star and all that, fantastic scopes. Absolutely fantastic scopes.
Here's our mate Stan Long Range Pensioner, MOA.
Yeah, most people like Mills if you like to do the maths. Exactly. Listen, really, anything's going to do the job. I mean, people complain about it, but at the end of the day, you put your ballistics in, you dial that, and bang, you're going to hit what you're shooting at, provided you've done, the right, calculations within your software. You're going to be good to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Steve
Exactly.
Savic's gone a big one. Zeiss V8 2 to 8 to 20 by 60. So yeah, it's probably
Oh,
not
yeah.
cheap.
Basically a telescope lens, the old
Yeah,
60
yeah.
mil. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
awesome.
8 to 20 by 60. Wow, never even seen that before. Wow.
Yeah. The EO Tech for pigs. Yeah, the EO Tech, I reckon, are some of the nicest red dots that I've used. They are very
Yeah.
nice.
I was about to say, is it red dots?
Yeah,
And that's another good question. We'll finish up, probably do that one.
what's
First
that?
focal plane versus second focal plane. Listen, the prices are pretty similar these days. There used to be quite a
They
bit
are.
of a difference. Second focal. Listen, depends. Again, it depends on what you want to do. If you're long range shooting and you're dialing, doesn't matter whether you dial the calculation on the scope in first focal plane or second focal plane. It doesn't matter. If you are a person that holds over, then I definitely get a first focal plane, because second focal plane, you have to be at full maximum power for the reticle to be accurate. So again, a lot of scopes, again, are not really good at the high end. So again, it's all going to depend on what you want to do. The benefit of first focal plane too is that if you have a target and you shoot the target, you can sort of at any magnification, you're
So
able to sort of see how far away that was in the reticle and say, well, that was 1.5 mils to the right. So you can just immediately shift for that. So that's one benefit. But again, if I'm purely hunting with, like Aaron said, a VX5 HD or similar, mate,
that's
just
first.
a MOA
Yeah.
mill. I know they sell a mill in VX5, mate. Doesn't matter. Just second
I,
focal plane, dial the scope to the calculation, and then mate, aim dead center, and then go for it.
See, with my hunting ones, the first focal plane. See, when I'm hunting, as we always say, it's you normally out to 300 meters. I normally just hold over when I'm hunting because
You can do
my
that.
hunting rifles, they're like laser beams. So pretty much, if I'm pointing at the top of the head at 300 meters, it's going to take the head off.
But again, don't forget, there's also not a lot, as far as I'm aware. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But again, that I've seen or at least the scopes that I like, there's not a lot of first focal planes in hunting scopes per se. I mean, yeah, you can go the Night Force SHV, but that's heavy. You're getting into your bigger scopes. You said your Razors, your PSTs, your Carls, your Night Forces, all that sort of thing. Your
Well,
Mark V Leopolds, your Delta Strikers. Generally you don't really see that, because again, if you've got it on the side of the stock and you just aim and go, yep, 6 mils, 400 meters, 2 mils, 2 mils, and then you dial on the scope, man, you can be done in about 20 seconds and be taking that shot. So
yeah, and it also comes down to practice, and yeah, definitely practice with your holding over. I think it's a good skill to have, just being able to 0 and 100, then just learn your holdovers, especially when you're hunting. Now, here's something that we were going to talk about a couple of weeks ago. We ran out of time. We'll quickly finish on this one, just real quick.
yeah.
Dirty Fox says, what's the go with the button cell battery scopes and red dots? Well, there is a scaremongering campaign in the shooting industry saying we are under attack. Blah, 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 bullshit. What it
What's
is,
this about? Just explain it, because I don't know what
yeah,
this is even about.
they're saying that we're under attack because they're banning the scopes, red dots that take the little flat batteries, the little like the button batteries,
Oh
because
yeah.
kids can swallow them. But it's not the shooting industry; it's everything that comes into Australia has to have a way of locking it in so kids don't swallow the batteries. And I got tell you now, I got nothing. I'm not against it at all because my ex was a nurse and she's seen children die from swallowing those little batteries. So, yeah, it's not. And there's just a big those articles of them trying to scare everyone, saying the shooting industry is under attack. But it's everything that's made. They're saying, oh, they didn't talk to the shooting industry about this, and now they're going to ban all these scopes and all sort of crap. What an absolute load of rubbish! You think they went and talked to the toy companies? Do you really think they talked to the cooking companies and the scales that use these batteries? No, of course not. Jeez, it's not the shooting industry under attack at all. So it's just they anything that's important to Australia, they take those batteries. It has to have a way of locking the compartment so kids can't open them and swallow the batteries. That's all it
West
is.
West Covina Dodge said, when your 3-year-old is playing with your rifle, it's to keep them from eating the battery.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a
Exactly.
good one.
Yeah.
3-year. I like that one. I like that
Uh-huh.
one.
Yeah. So
Hey,
yeah,
and let me
that's
say one thing too. Going back on someone just asked before the second focal plane and first focal plane scope. Don't forget too, it's a little bit harder to hold over and use the subtensions on your reticle, especially at low powers on a first focal plane scope, because as you know, that reticle will change sizes when you zoom in and out. So normally at minimum power, sometimes, let's say like my Cytron's 6 to 24 power, it's not really until you get to say 12 power that you'd actually really be able to use that reticle for holdovers. So just remember that too. Whereas second focal plane, the reticle is there. It doesn't get bigger or smaller. It stays the
yeah,
one size. So again,
that's
some brands have thicker reticles. Some brands have thinner reticles on their second focal plane scopes. It all depends on what you like. You know what I mean?
you definitely have to look through them and try a lot in the shops to see what works with the eyes as well, because not everyone's eyes are the same. So what Jason might think's really good works really well with him doesn't necessarily will work with me or another person.
Yeah, but again, like I said, when you get that range of over 2,000, it's the law of diminishing returns. Like anything, you're really only paying for that 2 to 3% extra, maybe 4 to 5%. It depends, how much you're going to go up. But if you're going to spend 2K on a scope, 1,500 plus, you're getting something pretty decent, man. I mean, you can still get your scopes at a couple of $100, and they serve a purpose absolutely for like hunting. But again, you don't want to be chasing your tail. Long range shooting, going, why am I not hitting the target? There's a lot of things that come into it. Wind, make sure your loads are correct, make sure your data's correct, make sure your scopes are put on properly, make sure your bases are on properly and tight.
That's
There's, a lot of things can go wrong.
that is a big thing. Before I go out long range shooting, I go over with a torque wrench or an Allen
Yeah.
wrench and just double check all my scopes, because I have been out there and haven't
Mm.
done that and can't figure out what the hell's going on. It's shooting all around the target, and it was because one of the screws was just loose. So now I always take a kit with me
Yeah.
all the time with all the different Allen keys and the torque head, star heads with me, just to double check everything when I'm out.
Yeah,
Because you don't want to
exactly.
be out in the field and it's loose and you can't tighten it up, because that's your day over. It's finished.
Yeah, and then don't forget too, one of the best investments I think you can make is one of those torque wrenches, the fat wrench.
Mm,
Get
mm,
yourself a fat wrench, mate. Those things are worth their weight in gold. You can torque down to the right specs. So I'm the same as Aaron. I've quickly put one on when I'm going out there. Snap, 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 snap on the thing. Make sure they're all tightened up. Make sure your bases on your rings are tightened up. If you're going to put your bases on the top of your receiver, make sure you Loctite them down. You know, Again, on the one that can, not the permanent Loctite, obviously, the one that you can get out with a bit of heat. As Aaron said, put your torque bit on, and you can make sure everything's tight. So that's really what you want to do, and don't over
yeah,
tighten your scopes. You don't want to crush them.
yeah, yeah. So I normally check them when I clean the guns every few times, or just before when I get them out to go away, especially if I'm going away on a trip. And always have it's best to invest in a small toolkit as well for guns. Just that's always a good go. It's a small
Mm.
toolkit that will have all the bits and pieces you need to work on your guns out in the field. So anyway, we will leave it at that, Jason. And yeah, it
Yep.
was a very good night. It was good to catch up with everyone again. And this is our 100th episode. Can't believe we lasted 100 episodes and we're still going. That's fantastic. So once again, I forgot to say, we've got to thank Brown's Plains, who through the 100 episodes have always supported us. So Brown's Plains Firearms, a big thank you and shout out. You've supported us from the beginning, and it is fantastic. So thank you to Gary and all the boys down there. So their links are down below. Go in and have a word to Gary if you're looking to buy a gun and you're in the Brisbane sort of area in Queensland. So big thank you to them. And thank you to Jason for lasting 100 episodes with me. So really do appreciate it. And it's been good.
Yep. Been a very tough time hanging out with you.
Yeah, just a drain on me. Yeah, that's for sure. No, but no, it's been fantastic. And please go check out our other channels as well that we have. The links are in the description. And we will see you on the next episode. So good night.